Honestly, this movie was fine. Apparently, there's another one that was made before this that's somewhat connected, but from what I've read online, they barely are connected. I watched one YouTube video on it, and he said that they tried. But, anyways, yeah. This movie works fine on its own. This girl gets in a car crash in the beginning of the movie. She's locked up in a guy's basement. She obviously thinks he's some crazy pervert that took him, especially since later he's like, yeah, there's an explosion, nuclear explosion. We might be down here for years. And then he mentions that aliens might have done it. But he says Martians. But yeah, anyways. Obviously, she thinks this dude's crazy. Eventually, she finds out that he's not as crazy as he seems. And, she sees for herself that a bomb did, in fact, go off of some sort when a girl tries to get into the shelter and her face is fucked up. And she starts banging her head on the window. The dude has some serious anger issues. He gets mad about, like, everything. And he's just a very uncomfortable person to listen to in the movie. It's like, he just pisses me off in this movie. Like when the dude is, describing something when they're playing this board game, and when he doesn't get it right, he's like, you should have been more specific. Like, okay, dick. No, not a very nice dude. Eventually, we find out he's not the, great person they thought he was, and that he killed someone because his wife and child left him because his mom thought, he was crazy for obvious reasons, thinking aliens exist. So he got some girl that looked kinda like his daughter and pretended that she was his daughter until she eventually was killed by him when she tried to escape. So after that, they try and escape by making a shower curtain suit with like a homemade gas mask. It actually works, surprisingly. She's even able to, I think, kill him. The last time we see him, he's alive, but he probably died. And he does say that he accidentally crashed into his car, but I guarantee he crashed into her car on purpose because, he knew a bomb went off. He knew they were going to be down there for a while. So he knew he could get away with it. Not like any cops are going to go door to door making sure people aren't kidnapped when a bomb went off. So I guarantee he got her on purpose and saw an opportunity when the bomb went off, since he was already watching her at the gas station. So her and this other dude, Emmett, that was also in there, that has been in the movie the whole time, but he's not exactly that important. They tried to escape, and he finds out that they're missing scissors and stuff. So he questions what they were going to do with them, and he was like, Emmett lies and says, I saw how much she looked up to you and I wanted to steal your gun. Though what really they were going to do was tie him up, and one of them was going to leave with the suit and try and find help, and the other was going to stay there. Don't know why they wouldn't kill him. They're in a house with a murderer that, is pretty crazy. Probably the funniest line in this movie is when they're like, out of all people to save us, that they got saved by a murderer. So he kills Emmett. And Eventually, she kills him with acid, though it could have been done way faster. She runs out of the big locked room that she could, literally lock him in. Just big door. It's not exactly something you can bust down because it's metal and meant to, save and hide people because it's a doomsday bunker. But, instead she just closes it and throws something in front of it instead of, locking it. So he gets out and eventually she pours acid and he trips and falls into the acid. It's PG-13, so it's not too gory. When Emmett was killed, he was shot and they didn't show it. We just saw blood. And yeah, he he gets acid all over his neck. He's bleeding. And the last time he talks, he is still alive, and it doesn't sound like, he's about to die. She gets through this vent, he's stabbing into it, trying to get her, and then eventually she's able to get away from him, and the last thing we hear of him is, "You don't know what's out there." So the last thing we hear sounds pretty alive, but it's also acid, so I don't think he can really tend to that kind of injury, especially by himself. And then we find out he was actually right about the aliens, which aliens were only really mentioned once or twice. The whole thing was more about the fact that, yes, there is a bomb and anybody that's out there dies because of the air. So, eventually, apparently, they only do it every now and then. Because eventually she, sees that there's birds flying and they're not dead because of the air. So, she takes the mask off and she can breathe. And then she puts it back on once the aliens spray some green stuff. The movie ends with her choosing to go help people. There's a radio that gives her the option that when she's in the car to either go to a safe house or go and fight. She chooses to fight. Kinda an homage to earlier in the movie where she says she only runs away from her problems, but this isn't exactly a problem. It's not like she had an argument with a friend or a family member. She has to fight aliens. Like, no, I would be scared shitless and let the government and shit deal with that, bro. Go back into the bunker that still has years of food in there. And then whenever you run out, try and go to, I don't know, the nearest grocery store. Just grab a shit ton of shit. I wouldn't fight aliens. I know that for sure. Still a cool ending, though.